Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by Emmet Brennan, the Tokyo Olympian and the new Celtic light heavyweight champion. Emmet, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, fought last Saturday, so we're into Thursday now. The next few days after the fight, you're sort of in limbo. You're looking back at how good the night was, but you're also looking forward to what's next. And it's sort of like you're in it because you're not signed with a major promoter. You're in a little bit of no man's land. That I suppose goal of the fight is gone, and yeah, it's a strange outfit, and like I obviously you enjoy it for a day or two with your family and your friends, but for me now, I'm just looking forward to 2024. So, the feeling of a high is short lived.
I was going to say, I mean, it was an unreal fight between yourself and Jamie Morrissey. Obviously, you picked up the title in a weight division above the weight that you wanted to campaign at as a professional. But like you said, how do you kind of reflect on that fight and your like kind of matchroom audition, let's say?
Yeah, so the fight went exactly how we thought it was gonna go. I again I said a lot of stuff in the lead up to the fight, but everything I said was my honest assessment of the fight. I'm not sure if Jamie or his team took it as being that disrespectful because I wasn't. I just said I was too experienced for him. I was too strong for him, and I feel like I can stop him. All of that in the fight showed exactly what I said was true. So nothing that I said in the lead up was disrespectful. But in terms of your audition for Matchroom, I had told Eddie during the week, I says, look, this fight is on a 5:30 in the day. You're making a big, big mistake. You have two lads here with the only two All Irish lads fighting on the show. We're putting our own beating record on the line. I'm fighting for the title in my second fight. I'm an Olympian. I'm from the area that the fight is in. I sold 700 tickets. I says, you're making a big mistake because I says, on the whole undercard, this is the fight that has the biggest potential to set fire to. Looking back on it, I was 100% right. And they missed a little bit of a trick there. The fight should have been on between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So, I wasn't being arrogant by saying that to him. I was just being, I'm an honest person and I give me honest assessment throughout the week. So, I had told Matthew on that throughout the week. For me, the fight was a cracker. I've had 30, 40 people that I don't even know text me saying it was the fight on the undercard. Again, Jamie played his part in that. It wasn't all one sided. There was a few moments that had to come through. So, in terms of what I can offer Matchroom going forward, now they know that I stay true to my word and I do be in good fights. Because again, it would very hard for Eddie Frank Smith to trust me by saying it's going to be a cracker when I've never boxed on the shows before and they've never seen me boxing live. So I better look that I've gained a little bit of trust from them now going forward.
You definitely have, and I mean it's interesting as well. Eddie a couple of weeks ago he was saying in multiple interviews, fighters need to give Matchroom a reason to put them on the shows as well. Did it? It must have been a nice feeling that you gave them that reason to put you on future shows as well.
Yeah, so I was talking to Eddie during the week and he asked me how the fight was going to go. I had told him, I said, first 4 rounds it will be competitive. I'll be a little bit ahead. My plan is to win the first 4 rounds. I said, the last four, I'm going to steamroll him. I said, if he's still there in the eighth round, I'm going to get rid of him. And then I was talking to Frank Smith on the Saturday morning. I told him the exact same thing. I says, it will be competitive for the first 4 rounds. I says, if he's standing there in round seven or round eight, he is not seeing the final bell. So going into the last round, obviously I was well aware of that. I'm not making a promise to these two lads that this lad isn't seeing the final bell. And Eddie even said that after. He said, you didn't have to go for the stoppage there. He says, you had the fight won. He says, fair play to you for going to the stoppage. But what I told him was that this fella wasn't seeing the final round, final bell. Again, it wasn't being disrespectful. It's just that you get one opportunity on shows like this. You got to put your best foot forward. And as you said, everyone knows that Eddie said it 3 or 4 weeks ago. You got to be in live fights. You got to be entertaining. So I made it my mission to put the foot on the pedal in the last round and try make a statement. And again, I think I did make a statement.
No, you definitely did, mate. It was a cracker of a fight as well, and one like you said, it was competitive, but you were on top consistently throughout the
Mm.
fight as well. I do want to touch on kind of something that you mentioned to Coleman IFL after the fight. I mean, you're 32 and you've won a pro title in your second fight. I mean, and you mentioned kind of moving quickly and staying in live fights. Is it definitely kind of more titles and more kind of high profile fights moving forward for yourself?
Yeah, like you gotta. I'm sort of in a tough spot, whereas I'm not promoted by anyone, so I don't really call the shots. I don't really call the shots. So I'm not promoted by anyone. I'm well ahead of where I am in terms of my professional career. I'm Celtic champion. I'm good enough probably to push on for European titles in the next 3 or 4 fights. That's not gonna happen. We gotta still be sensible at the same time, because that's the first time we've done 8 rounds. We haven't done a 10 rounder yet. So we still got to bank the rounds and bank the experience. Although technical wise, I'm well able to go for this, but it's about still being smart and not getting ahead of ourselves. We want to go. I have plans next year to fight in New York. I have plans to obviously fight in Crow Park if Matchroom come back. So, and I know the fight in New York and Crow Park, you're going to have to be in live fights. In between that, we can try bank a few rounds against durable opposition that are going to give us the 8 and the 10 rounds. But for 2024, we're definitely going to take a few more risks. There'll be a few more titles. We're looking to get the BUI, that's the Irish super middleweight title. That's over 10 rounds. Whether that's the next fight, we don't know. Could be the fight after, or we could hold that in our back pocket for Crow Park. But I had a meeting with the BUI there on Tuesday morning, and I got the go ahead off them for a few exciting fights in Dublin, and one possibly in New York. The one in New York again, we want to hold that for Matchroom if they go to Madison Square Garden. That's a fight that can do a few thousand tickets. So, in terms of if you're a promoter or a manager, I'm probably the dream, because one, I'm an exciting fighter. I'm honest, and I actually say what I'm going to do. But three, I do all the work in the background myself. Like, I've went straight away to the BOI on Tuesday morning and asked them, is this a possibility? Is this a possibility? I got to go ahead on a few things, and I wouldn't imagine many other boxers are doing that, especially not 2 or 3 days after the fight or after they've won a title. So for the likes of Matchroom and stuff like that, I probably would be a dream to work with.
You definitely would. And I mean, with the discussions about potentially Podrick McCrory fighting Edgar Berlanga in New York, I mean, having more and more Irish fighters on the card, it must kind of make that a nice feeling for yourself. Obviously, stacking that card of Irish fighters in New York as well, where there's a huge Irish population
Yeah,
as
well,
well.
I think they're doing Podrick McCrory. Well, I don't know if he's 100% getting the fight, but I think that's going to be Las Vegas.
Is it? Oh,
So
okay.
that's what I heard Eddie saying last week. So initially, that was in the back of my head going into this fight, that was going to be in New York. And if it was in New York, like, I will sell serious tickets in New York. I've been over there for a few months over the last 2 years, and I will do really well on tickets, because they are dying to get behind someone Irish. It's what they're really looking forward to do. So I think I'm the man to fill that role. It's just that, I got opportunities. I got a call on Monday to fight in New York if we want in February. But for me, Matchroom are the biggest promoter. They put on the best shows. I want to fight on the Matchroom show in New York. And again, I suppose for the likes of Eddie, they know I'm going to do the work and they know I'm going to do the tickets. So it's probably for them, it's not a bad idea just throwing me on one of the shows in New York, because it's a win-win for them. They're going to get an exciting fight and tickets are going to be sold. Like, for this fight here, we sold 700 tickets, and that was without 1 ounce of promotion from Matchroom. If I got a little bit of a push from the likes of them tickets can go well over 1,000.
Definitely, definitely. And I think we look forward to seeing the rise of Emmet Brennan as well, hopefully on the Matchroom stable as well. One thing that also like adds to your marketability as well is obviously that you're a Tokyo Olympian as well. I mean, Darren Barker mentioned on comms that you went into the tournament with a shoulder injury, but kind of obviously representing your country at the Olympics is a huge thing, especially in the boxing world. How do you kind of reflect on qualifying and representing your country as well, Emmet?
Yeah, look, a great moment in in my life, a great moment in my family's life. They were extremely proud to have me qualify for the Olympics. But um, it's that's a part of my life that has come and gone. Great to look back at the memories. Obviously, it was during COVID, so it was a bit of an anticlimax at the time, and I suppose Saturday night just gone was sort of like redemption for me. It was because I've done so much work to get to the Tokyo Olympics, but my family weren't there and my friends weren't there to see it all, and they couldn't celebrate with me when they qualified because they were obviously back in Dublin. So, um, it was an extremely great time in my life, a very proud time for myself and my family. But um, weirdly enough, I spent 20 years trying to get to the Olympics. I think Saturday night topped it because I got to do one in front of my family. I got to do one in front of my godson. I got my godson in the ring with me. I have videos of my family celebrating. I celebrated with my family after. This is what I really do it for. I do it for my family. I do it to make them proud, and they make it that little bit easier for me. So yeah, Tokyo was a great time, and it's obviously got me these opportunities that are coming to me right now. But for me, Tokyo was in the past. It's about looking forward now. Obviously, Darren is my manager, so the two of us work very, very well together. I'm hoping that he can get me some huge opportunities where I can grow the fan base in Ireland. I can grow the fan base in New York, and the 700 people that were there with me on Saturday night is going to become 1,500 people in a year's time. So I think the potential that me and Darren can do with the likes of Matchroom, it's endless.
It definitely is, and as well, talking about kind of the rise of kind of Irish boxing as well. Obviously, Katie winning on the weekend only kind of pushed that back. We've got Mick fighting on the weekend as well. Obviously, Pierce O'Leary yourself. Obviously, and a lot of the other talent on the undercard has shown it. Kind of, what is it like to be a part of this kind of new rise of our of boxing across Ireland as well? It must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's good. Like me and Pierce train together, so we're in the same amateur club. So when he's back from Bromley, he's in training with us, and it's great because we can get to push each other on. Like we're elite fighters that really want to get to the top of the game. So when you're around elite fighters and training with elite fighters, you're pushing each other on. You're making sure each other are training to their maximum capacity. So for me, it's great to be training with Pearson. It's great to be training in Dublin Docklands with the rest of the lads and the rest of the girls because we're in a really elite gym where if you're not giving your best and you're not giving 100%, you're sort of left behind. So we're very lucky with the gym that we're in. But back to the question, yeah, well, not we are lucky that we're in this area, that you have the likes of Mick and you have the likes of Katie, who are trailblazers in the sport and they're putting on these huge shows where the likes of myself, the likes of Pierce and other Irish fighters can fight on the undercard. Obviously, your goal in the next 2 or 3 years is to be where Katie and Michael are, but they're giving us a platform to showcase our skills. Obviously, I was at the fight because I was on the undercard on Saturday, but uh, Katie's result, a lot of my future sort of went on how Katie's fight was gonna go. There was talks that if she got beaten, there was nowhere for her to go really. But once she gets that win, there's other opportunities for me and other lads and girls on the undercard. So her winning is that they're opening up a lot more opportunities for me. I live 400 meters from Crow Park. So the first thing I see when I leave my house now is Crow Park. If that happens, Jesus Christ, I will sell thousands of tickets. That would be obviously I've never dreamt of fighting in Crow Park because it's not even a thing. But the fight in Crow Park, I can't explain what that would feel like. If it goes ahead, Jesus, I am going to be relentless in my pursuit to ground that. I will have Eddie's head wrecked, Frank Smith's head wrecked, I'll have Darren Barker's head wrecked. I will do everything possible to ground that card. But if you look what I done on Saturday night, there's no reason why I won't be on the card, and there's no reason why I won't be a lot higher up on this card because I bring excitement every single time. You click Emmet Brennan into YouTube, there's about 7 or 8 fights. Every single fight is a humdinger. You know when I'm fighting, you're going to get entertainment. So I'm very lucky that, no, I'm lucky that I have that style, but it's a fan pleasing style, and it does deserve to be higher up cards.
Definitely, and as well, kind of you've proved to be on those cards as well, Emmett. And I mean, I hope Frank, Eddie, and Darren have all understood your message on that part as well. Fighting at Croke Park. My final one, Emmett. We ask everyone this, but I thought it'd be a bit more of a kind of interesting thing. Obviously, you had a very frustrating period post Olympics, obviously with kind of some personal issues, injuries, and things like that. But obviously, you're back in the gym, kind of using your Olympic pedigree. You're performing on the big stage as well. But like I said, we ask everyone this kind of when all's said and done, what does boxing mean to you?
Boxing to me is life. I've talked about this last week. I own my own boxing gym now in this area. It's like a white collar gym, so my whole life revolves around boxing. It's my job. It's my professional career. It's the first thing I think of when I wake up. It's the last thing I think about when I go to bed. But it's given me a chance to inspire the next generation. It's given me a chance to be a bit of a role model in the community to younger kids. And I suppose with the way I've had my own personal issues, it's given me a little bit of a chance to be a role model with people that have lost themselves in life and they're looking for a second chance. So it's given me everything in life, and we're out the sport. I wouldn't have these second chances. So anytime I was down and I sort of threw opportunities away, it was boxing that got me back on top. I gave up boxing when I was like 22. I was young, I was naive, I was just going out drinking and doing what every 22-year-old does. And again, I had personal issues back then. When I went back to the sport at 24, my whole life turned around again. Then post Olympics, the exact same thing, threw opportunities away, threw chances away, started living a bad life. The second I went back to the boxing club, got around people that cared about me, the coaches in the club, the camaraderie of being in a boxing club, I got hooked on the sport again. So without boxing, my life would be in a lot worse of a place than it is. So I need the sport in my life, whether it's actually me competing or whether it's me passing on my knowledge or coaching kids or giving advice to kids coming through. Without boxing, my life is nothing. And that might be a little bit sad to say, but it's not just it's not the competing part, it's the sport part, it's the community of boxing. It's passing on information, passing on advice, helping kids. Because you know yourself from reporting on the sport, most people that get into boxing, we come from working class areas. We don't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of education in our family. Maybe there's trauma there. We're in the families or we're in the children themselves. So it's a sport that has a lot of grief in it. The athletes have a lot of grief in it. So it's and boxing sort of takes all that away. So for me, boxing is life, yeah.
I mean, Emmett, that was one of the best answers to that question ever, mate. But no, thank you again for your time today, Emmett. And yeah, we look forward to seeing your return as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks, Emmett. Take care.